afternoon. This is Rich Nass, and I am here for this week's installment of 5 Minutes With. This week, we have the pleasure of having as our special guest Phil Gerskovich. He is the Senior Vice President of New Growth Businesses at Zebra Technologies Corp. Hello, Phil. How are you?
I'm very good today.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that. Okay, so you work for Zebra Technologies. So the first thing that came to my head is why did somebody name this company Zebra Technologies? I thought you were always supposed to start with the letter A, so you show up first in the phone book.
That's a great question. You know, Zebra really rose with the barcode. 30 years ago, barcodes were a brand new thing, and many people called them zebra codes. And Zebra has been involved with the creation of barcodes, and we grew with that business. So that's where the name came from, and it stayed with us all these years, even as we expanded into new areas like RFID, mobile computers, real-time locations, and the Internet of Things.
Well, it sounds like this company is older than I realized. How long has Zebra been around?
Zebra's been around since 1969. And we've been primarily a printer company for many years. But in more recent years, we've grown through various acquisitions. The largest one was last year where we acquired a big part of Motorola Solutions. And it now has made us the market leader in ruggedized handheld computers, barcode scanning, and RFID products.
Okay, that's pretty interesting. So now you're into this new technology called the Internet of Things. How do you get from barcodes and printers to the Internet of Things?
That's a great question. Internet of Things is about giving digital voices to devices. And we've been giving digital voices to things for a long time, but in the past we've done it through RFID and barcodes. Internet of Things brings that to a new level and allows real-time communications to devices wherever they are in the world. As a company that primarily sells devices, we've been very interested in the Internet of Things. And we set up a task force several years ago to look at how the Internet of Things would affect us and all of our customers. And that's what got us interested in the Internet of Things.
Okay, well, that's pretty good. Okay, so let's talk about you personally for just a second, because I'm looking at your bio, and you've worked at some of the biggest corporations in our industry, IBM, Dell, Sun, Kodak, Data General. And one of the things about those companies is that each has its own way of doing things. Like if you look at IBM, they're pretty different from Dell, for example. So what are some of the things that you've learned at some of these huge corporations that you've been able to bring to Zebra that have helped you?
Well, you know, all of those companies have gone through business cycles and had to learn to adopt. And part of that involves talking to your customers, finding out what their needs are. And the other part of that is being an expert and a leader in technology so that you can solve your customers' problems. So every company that's been around for a while has had to go through technology transitions, and if they haven't, they've gone away. And so when I was at IBM, for instance, I helped participate in the project where we brought Unix and new microprocessor architectures to IBM and bring those to market. At Dell, we helped launch them in the server business. And at Sun, they were a startup company in those days, and we were really solving all kinds of new problems with them. So again, you know, I think to be successful in business, you have to both be able to understand potential customer problems and then how to bring new technologies to those markets.
Okay, that sounds pretty interesting. I'm actually, unfortunately, old enough to know Unix pretty well.
Now people only know Linux, but of course it's a derivative of Unix.
Very true, very true. Okay, and then finally, you're responsible for business that leverage the Internet of Things, which was an interesting phraseology. What does that mean exactly when you say leverage the Internet of Things?
You know, we believe there are three key trends that are going to shape the way enterprises solve IT problems in the future. One is the move to mobile devices. Workers are being uncoupled from their desktops and are moving around with mobile devices. The other one is the move to cloud computing, where instead of loading software on your local PC, you're going to run it out of the cloud. And the third is the Internet of Things, where everyday devices can communicate on the Internet. So by bringing those three things together, and in particular in my area, we're looking for applications that will leverage devices, whether they be a temperature sensor, a barcode scanner, or an RFID reader, that can give enterprises real information about what's going on in their business to deliver better customer experiences. And we help pull together those technologies into applications that solve business problems. So the final application generally involves all of those elements, mobile devices, cloud, and the Internet of Things, to deliver a better customer experience for our customers that they deliver to their customers.
Well, that's very well said, and you ended at a very good point because we just hit the 5-minute mark, so we have to stop at this point. I would like to thank our guest, Phil Gerskovich, the Senior Vice President of New Growth Businesses at Zebra Technologies, and this is Rich Nass, the Executive Vice President of Open Systems Media. Thank you very much, Phil.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.